Okay.
Jetzt habe ich erstmal auf Suiram drauf geklickt, als ich die spectaten wollte. Toll.
Toll.
Richtig verwirrend.
I mean, it's so easy. The guy with the number is me. Alright. Wow. Fucking shaky part.
You just won 4 positions with that.
Ach. Nice angle. Nah, of course. I got a slowdown from the curve. At least I didn't flip.
Yeah, cost half a second. About. Fine. Better than that was good.
Very risky or shaky as well. I mean, I don't even want to drive it risky, but it just happens in Canyon. I assume it's a close race.
There are some gaps. So, 2 9th place, you're still relatively close. But then there's 1.5 second gap. But it's about half a second between everyone here right now where you are. In the front it's close. But yeah, you're losing almost a second per lap. Eight laps and distance is 7.6. But yeah, you can get the guys in front of you. Top 10 is a good goal. Meep just drove a really bad time, only a 0.2.
Lol.
Probably is worse so far.
And I didn't lose that much. Because I probably drove my best time.
Yeah.
What time was it that I drove?
0.7. 76. Cinemini is in front of you, close, but then there's now a 2.5 second gap to Rex and LMB Willy. Okay. Oh! Yeah, Greenius crashed down. And you overtook Cinemini now, so you're in 10th place.
Yay.
Yeah, then there's a gap, so... Cine Mini got pass you again. Stuff. Also broke really good.
Yeah, it had multiple imperfect laps.
Yeah. They close. Half a second. Less than half a second. Better. There are 8 laps remaining.
Oh, that's a fast race.
This map is like the bare minimum plan.
I saved it quite good. Ich krieg einen Krampf in der Hand, ey.
What's up? Noch 6 Laps. Genius ist ja jetzt auch mit dem Rennen. Der war vorher gecrashed einmal. Hart. Wow, GrandFinal hat einen riesen Crash gemacht. Er ist vom 2. Platz auf den 9. Über weg. Boah. Damit ist so haben wir im Moment 3. Erik hat auch noch einen Fail gemacht. Das sieht gut aus.
Mann, ich war gar nicht mal so weit weg von Suiram in der schnellsten Runde. Halt nur so 2 Zehntel.
Was hat er denn als schnellste Runde? Weil der fährt konstant 0,3.
Ja, 0,26.
Ja, der fährt halt jede Runde 0,3.
Das finde ich halt so krass. Na, die immer an ihre PBs rumfahren. Und ich komme jetzt halt gar nicht an meine PB ran. Ich immer irgendwo zu sehr safe oder irgendwas korrigieren muss.
Du bist jetzt ziemlich equal mit Cine Mini. Dann hast du direkt 2 Zehntel da gerade verloren. Gogo, kriegst du.
Scheint mir so, als ob Cinemini ganz konstant eine Pace fährt. Immer wenn ich meine besseren Runden fahre, komme ich ran. Immer wenn ich irgendwo einen Triff nicht ganz optimal, dann verliere ich sofort wieder.
Ne, knapp. Go. Bisschen Schlaf dran. Nichts du hin.
Wie lange ist er noch?
2 Laps.
Ja. Dachte ich kurz, dass ich ihn anecken würde, musste gegenlenken.
Mit diese Kurve immer falsch, da gewinnst du immer auf ihn. Und minimal vor ihm. Bei Zehntel. Brauchst eine gute letzte Kurve. Direkt ins Ziel rein. Ja! Das waren 200. Ich hab gerade gar nicht dran gedacht, es war so spannend, da wollte ich gerade erst gar nichts sagen. Rip Suriram hat 2 Positionen dann jetzt noch verloren, ganz knapp. Das mit Not und Erik habe ich leider verpasst.
Oh. Das ist auch gut, ja. Ey, Brokkoli, das darf man nicht. Dafür wird man gebannt, wenn man rückwärts fährt.
Hm?
Quente dann echt nur 9.
Ja, hat halt einmal gecrashed, da musste respawnen. Also der ist in dem Tunnel angeeckt und geflippt und dann hat er gerespawnt. Der Respawn war im Multilab.
Was der? Ach so, dort. Ach, der Tunnel.
Der aus dem Wallride raus. Der hätte wahrscheinlich nicht respawnen müssen.
Na, immerhin diesen Battle gewonnen. Aber was war nochmal der Gap hinter mir? Auch nicht so groß, ne?
Weiß ich nicht.
Da war noch irgendwas.
Relativ groß gewesen sein.
War 0,7 dann auch am Ende noch meine Match-PB?
Ja. 0,72.
Ist doof. Weil ich bin so viele 0,5er gefahren. 0,59, 0,58, 0,59. So viele.
Also hinter dir war dann Create mit 2 Sekunden und danach Raster Bobby mit 8 Sekunden hinter dir.
Hat er jetzt nicht rausgehört, dass der Queen dann tatsächlich schon an beiden vorbei ist? Dass er rankam, ja, aber dann...
Ja, aber was? Hattest du keine Chance. Du seid zu schnell gefahren. Der war halt auch, wäre auch natürlich dann viel weiter vorne gewesen, wenn nicht gecrashed.
Gut, ich habe mir jetzt natürlich keinen Daddy-Replay angeguckt, ob irgendwo noch eine andere Linie besser gewesen wäre. Ich kriege natürlich mit, wenn ich irgendwo es nicht ganz optimal ausleiten lasse, aber ich habe das Gefühl, dass wenn ich alles perfekt ausgeslidet hätte, wäre ich ja nie im Leben auch nur ansatzweise eng rangekommen.
Ja, man merkt halt immer nicht, wie viel man tatsächlich verliert. Einmal mit dem Ausleiten und andererseits mit dem Engfahren. Vor allem das Engfahren. Das unterschätzt man richtig. Vor allem, wenn man das dann halt so mit den Top-Fahrern da vergleicht. Das macht so einen riesen Unterschied. Aber ja, ich glaube, da war vielleicht eine minimal andere Linie bei diesem einen großen 270-Grad-Kurve da. Aber das war wahrscheinlich nichts Großes. Vielleicht höchstens ein Zehntel, wenn man es super schreibt. Was schon geupdatet. Ja, mit Quentins Crash ist es überraschend knapp noch zwischen uns und Godspeed.
Ja, aber am Ende waren beide deren Fahrer vor uns drin.
Ja, aber es ist 32 zu 26 Punkte. Also halt Not hat 20 gemacht, Syram 16 und Quentin 12, du 10. Hat dann echt ein kleiner Unterschied. Weil beide dann 2 Plätze weit vorne, weiter vorne. Das ist halt dann nur 6 Punkte mit dem Punktesystem.
Was war denn Shinny Minis Bestzeit im Rennen?
Keine Ahnung, ich glaube auch 0,7.
Weil wir scheinen ja eine sehr ähnliche Pace gehabt zu haben.
Das auf jeden Fall. War dann ja das ganze Rennen so.
Ich müsste halt einmal wieder so richtig no-lifen für eine Map. So das versuchen, das letzte bisschen rauszukitzeln überall und dann gucken. Aber das wäre wahrscheinlich volle Kanne Time Attack. Dann das aber dann umzusetzen in Laps jede Runde. Und ja, so ein bisschen habe ich halt so ähnlich wie bei Stadium Full Speed das Gefühl dafür verloren, wie viel man halt tatsächlich verliert bei dem Ausleiten lassen. Immer wieder kommt dieses Safe-Ding rein und ich sage mir dann doch, ich lenke mal kurz am Ausgang gegen und breche vielleicht den Drift schon vorher ab oder so.
Das denke ich mir halt auch immer, aber das ist tatsächlich nicht so wichtig. Es ist echt das Engfahren. Das ist das viel Wichtigere. Da verlieren wir das auf jeden Fall deutlich mehr. Ich muss ja noch den Server liefern.
Sucher trainiert.
Und das ist ja echt knapp dazwischen PW, Twister Eagles und Smurf 4.
Smurf 4, das ist Phoebe Harks, das sehe ich gerade.
Ja, es ist mehr Phoebe und Cusseau.
Ja.
Harks hat noch nicht einmal gefahren. Ah ne, doch, beim ersten Rennen. Man hat 6 Punkte gemacht und Lex ist halt auch da drin, wird auch zweimal gefahren. Aber die sind halt, ne, weißt du, die haben halt keine Punkte gemacht. So vergleichsweise. Und Smurf 3 ist auch noch relativ nah mit Miss Eternity 7. Smurf 4 ist 10 Punkte hinter Twister Eagles und Smurf 3 ist 16 Punkte hinter denen. Dann ist da auch noch Godspeed 2, die sind nur 7 Punkte vor Twister Eagles. Aber ja, die Top 3 sind absolut klar.
Matty Ford hat auch gerade einen schönen Unintentional Stunt hingelegt.
Bei der Apfel-Rechtskugel.
War, glaube ich, kurz nach dem Start, bilde ich mir ein. Ich sag, wenn er da die nächste Runde auftaucht. Sora ist auf jeden Fall trainiert. Der vor diesem, wo Suiram auch gecrashed war. Oder war es Suiram, der da? Naja, jetzt nach dem Tunnel. Am Exit hier. Da ist er über das Loch und hat dann Flip gemacht und ist smooth gelandet.
Ah, so. Ja, das habe ich auch ein paar Mal gemacht. Das war man echt gut. Aber ja, bei uns ist natürlich ganz klar. Ich meine, eigentlich ist die Top 5 ist gegessen in der Premier League. Da wird nichts mehr passieren. 6. Platz ist 30 Punkte hinten.
Das war jetzt Playday 5, ne?
Ja.
Ja, 30 Punkte sind schon schwer überhaupt an einem Spieltag zu machen. Ja. Vor allen Dingen für jemanden, der bisher nur auf Platz 6 liegt.
Mhm. Und dann muss halt das Erik-Team immer wenig machen. Aber ja, wir sind ziemlich safe auf dem 3. Platz. Könnten vielleicht noch den 2. Platz holen. Da fällt mir ein, ich muss dann auch noch Map-Screenshot machen und so von meiner Map. Ja. Machen wir mal was, brauchen wir was zu essen.
Mhm.
Castest du?
Ja,
Oder?
ja, ich denke schon.
Deutsch?
Ich frag mal.
Ja,
Connection lost.
I see if I have a... let me check Turbo. Probably GGeek is here, yeah.
So, let me just do a few things here. I hope you can hear me, Marius, by the way.
Yes, I can hear you.
I can, I joined your voice chats.
I can hear you. Can you
Don't
hear
hesitate
me
to
as well?
mute yourself for whenever you're ready.
Ah, okay.
And I'm gonna have to adjust your volume as well inside of OBS since
Ah,
I've never done.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So you were quite loud on OBS. I'm just gonna turn you down.
Yes.
But yeah, it should be good. Hello, Marius. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, doing fine. Was a bit hard today with 3 endurance races during the day.
Yeah. I'd imagine that. I've only taken part in Spam's endurance race, which was a bit of a blast, to be fair. It's been a good time since my first time in endurance race after a few years out. So, but yeah, hope you're doing well despite that somewhat maybe glass half full performance for your team with Team Demise scoring some big points, but you're not having such a good race so far. Finishing in P12 if I recall correctly.
11, I think, but
P11, okay.
I expected a position around that. Because
Okay.
Kenya, I don't like that, or I can't do it fast anymore that much, and also just looked at the map today afternoon.
Okay,
But I'm quite happy
fair
didn't do a big mistake, so.
Okay, fair enough then. So we are T-minus 3 minutes from the start of the race. In-game sounds pretty loud. I'm trying to rebalance all the audio on the fly. Really sorry if the game can be loud sometimes. We're working that out. You know, adjusting stuff mid-game, stuff midstream. You're pretty much used to that. But yeah, we are about to get underway, and I feel like we should preview the other map. Hello Raziel, hello Maddox, hello Haksa, hello everyone who just joined. And yeah, map number 2 is going to be Distance Structures by Look TOBK. Of course, you would imagine that maybe we hold the world record, and damn right he actually holds it with a 101.641. The driver from Team Amplified holding the record there. Is it one of the maps that you actually trained, Marius, for this particular round? I always was Nelson. Did you actually get a chance to look around on Distance Structures or no?
I didn't train any map. I was in the map testers team, but also there I was not having enough time to go through all the maps. But yeah, I only trained now the previous map. So far was the first that I drove.
Okay. So, map by Look TOBK, which you're currently watching from the perspective of Matiford, who's going to be running Gus through here and marking himself as ready, as we are going to be doing a bit of a rundown from all the players that are currently taking part. We got AD Racing being represented by Sneaky so far. I wonder if he has a teammate. It seems as though I do not see a teammate so far. I might be blind though. It's happened sometimes for me to miss teammates that should have been there. Yeah, there actually is a teammate. There's Fat Kid in here. We've got Hacker, Benzo, Mati Ford, but we're just gonna have to wait who from the team Something with Butter is gonna be playing. We've got Econix and Sora for Twister Eagle. Sora with a 911 customized 911 model, and Sora with a custom model from Burnout Revenge as well. So looking pretty spiffy. Then we got Team Smurf from 4 playing. It seems as though we got Team Smurf from 4. We got Phoebe and Harse as well, and Team Smurf from 5. We got OPQ and Schweetz. Team Jean Bjorn is represented by Zenob and S. We've got Lokring also for Team AD Racing. We're gonna have to wait for which of the players are gonna be playing there. We've got Jolty Sonic representing Team CN. I wonder if he has a teammate. Might not be likely though, since we saw Eric running without a teammate. It might also be the case that some people might not be available for today, which is a bit of a shame, really. So, 15 seconds before the start of the race. Don't worry, we're gonna get to guessing soon enough, Marius. I hope you're not too bored while still trying to talk and give a bit of a rundown.
It's all fine.
Hope you're still fine. Okay, so we are gonna get the restart soon enough. Everybody is slowly but surely readying themselves up. Mazer and Door playing for Team Smurf in 3, unless there is another man who actually there is another player, who wants to actually take one of the other player spots. We're getting the warning for everyone who's not driving to get to spectator mode. Also got two of the we got also members of the Godspeed second team, another all French effort led by Zips and Sedlif, respectively. And yeah, it seems that we got all the teams presented, unless maybe I have missed one. Okay, we got Twister Eagles, we got Smurf 4, Smurf 5, Something with Butter. It seems the Benzo will probably not be playing. Okay, so it's 7 and not Door. Sorry about that. So. Man, I can't fill anymore. Filling stuff when you're waiting for a match to start can be pretty feckin' difficult. So, while I switch the webcam back here, please bear in mind that I'm waiting just as much as you are for this race to get started. All right?
I just got information that Blanc wrote, "Hey guys, some Canyon news. Dragon and me discovered that driving backwards on every block is faster."
Oh, really?
But yeah, I think this Wickling, I also did that in the knockout yesterday.
Ooh,
doing zigzag backwards on Canyon, was also gaining a lot of speed on tarmac, but maybe he means even more than that. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what we saw. That's what we saw actually Procoli do at the end of the of the Premier League race. As a matter of fact, doing small slides, going backwards around corners, and he was actually able to gain speed over time. Although the final turn didn't really go too well for him. He tried to go with too much speed and ended up in the wall in the end. So.
Yeah, only the acceleration was fixed, Blank. So you accelerate much worse, but due to this trick now that you steer zigzag, make zigzag movements, you can actually gain much faster speed and accelerate much better, and with that it's a faster strategy on some maps to go backwards. Of course it requires specific turns, and also you have to be able to turn around the car and start very quickly. Otherwise you lose way too much.
Actually being able to manage the inputs correctly. Also, we got the warm-up now, so
yes,
we might be able to get the show on the road. For those of you on YouTube, welcome to the Open League race of the day 5 of the group stage of the SCL Canadian Endurance Premiership Season 6. The race is played on distance structures by Luke TOBK. With a 1:1.641, the world record is Team Amplified's Mebe 12, although he is not playing in this league. Current rundown, we've got a total of, I think we got a full 20 player field playing today, unless I might be mistaken. No, we've got around 17 players in total for now. We've got Benzo and Matifor representing Something with Butter, who are currently leading the rankings so far. We've got Sedlef and Zibs representing Team Godspeed 2, Smurf from Team 4 represented by Harse and Phoebe. Jolty Sonic only being the only representative of Team CN 2020. We also got Econics and Sora in there for Twister Eagles. Door and 7 and I think it is Miss, who are currently playing for Team Surfer. No, it's actually Mazer, sorry. And OPQ, and I'm rereading the names right here. So we got Schweetz first from Team 5. So yeah, we got a pretty good field, as well as Team Jean Bjorn with S and with Zenob. So yeah, we've got a pretty stacked field, and alongside me for this race will be Marius89.
Oh, hello. Well, thanks for letting me cast with you. So I just checked the local records, found out from the Open League drivers, the best local record so far is Matiford on 8th place. He's having a 102.3 here on the server.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing it 102.300 as the race is underway, and we're spectating Benzo right now. Oh, player issue actually. We're not getting a live countdown. It seems the Sweets has had an issue so far, so we're just waiting for the for Sweets to actually be able to reconnect and be able to be actually running. It seems that those Sweets has come back, although quite a few quite a ways down compared to where the rest is at the moment. So yeah, sorry for that bit of a technical issue here. We will go live really soon here. Jolty Sonic also having an issue, and it seems as though he left the server. So I wonder if we're gonna get this started even though we are having missing players. We did start without 2 players during the Open League, during the Premier League race. Sorry, that got down a little bit earlier. We were missing one of the team players from Team Broken Wrist and one from Team Coupe Ferosa as well, unfortunately.
Seems like Schweetz is training the start, or I'm not sure what he's doing.
Making sure that probably making sure that his setup is currently working. It seems as though he's currently playing, and unfortunately for Jolty, yeah, he has had a had a connection issue, and he's dropped out of the server outright. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see a member of Team CN actually representing the team tonight. Although they might not have much to lose at this point. They're currently only 8th in the standings with around 40 points or something like that. So they might not have a chance at the end of the day to potentially qualify for the console edition final on May 31st.
An interesting fight here is between Twister Eagles and the Smurfen team 4 for the 5th position in the league.
Yep, let me actually get back to the standings and re-put that. So we're gonna get a restart, but here is a look at the Open League standings, and yeah, you're right, Smurfen Team 4 and Twister Eagles battling out for 5th position, the last place in the qualification final, as a matter of fact. They're separated by only 10 points, so yeah, those last 2 days are going to be really important for both teams. Meanwhile, Team Something with Butter is really trusting the leaderboard really well here, but yeah, also joining in that battle potentially would be another Smurfen team, with the Smurfen Team 3 just 6 points behind their brethren. I just noticed that.
So Jolty Sonic also joined with the server now again. So we should be complete.
Yeah, it will be live after the warm-up according to Max, so we will be able to get back to the game scene right now. We're currently checking if everybody is in there. So we got Jolty, we got Schweetz. It's gonna be an interesting battle. You're absolutely right, Gimpa, for the last few spots in the qualification final and to continue the journey into the tournament itself. Meanwhile, let's actually spectate a little bit of Sora here and view his glorious car model. I can't really, so apparently it's from Burnout Revenge, but I can't really remember which car model it is. Too bad we cannot actually see the front of it. That's been going off in a bit of attention anyway. But yeah, the Twister Eagle squad coming up with some really interesting models. Sora with the Burnout Revenge model, and Econics always sporting his trusty 911 skin. As we're getting the word that it is a good luck, have fun here for this one. And Cindy wondering how many people will fail to start. As we're about to get underway, and there we go. The race is now started, although Schweetz seems to have had a bit of an issue. We'll see, let's actually see how this will go after the drop down. And it is Seven who currently holds the lead, with Sedlev in the battle, but as well. But then Benzo and Matiford are rearing their ugly head, and Seven is currently falling out of the top 5. And currently we're watching the point of view from Sneaky, battling it out with both Matiford and Sedlev. Sedlev in first place, Matiford second, and Sneaky third after a couple of corners.
So we saw already some crashes in the first part of the first lap here. Currently Mesa already 4 seconds behind. Also Econics, Opik and Sips also with slight mistakes. But 13th place is within a second to the lead, occupied by Door 7.
Yeah, 7 currently in 13th position, but actually being left behind really quickly, even by the 4th Smurfing team right now. Currently Harse pulling away from from 7, currently 4/10ths down on Harse in 12th position. Meanwhile, the top 10 is currently being held by S, who is under attack from Schweetz here, trying to make the best of it. And Jolty Sonic making a huge mistake, clipping the inside, and he will be demoted down to 13th position as a result of lap number 1, as Schweetz will be up into the top 10. And after lap 1, it is Matiford in front of his teammate Benzo, and Phoebe representing the Smurfs really well and battling it up for third position with Sora, Sedlev, and Sneaky. We got a really nice battle for the top 6 here.
Exactly, at the moment looks like a very good start for the Door team, having the lead with both drivers. But yeah, Saddle, Uf, Sora, Sneaky, so multiple teams, also Phoebe right behind with 1 driver each. And the top 6 is still within a second.
Ooh, Sora with a bit of a dodgy line. He was forced to kind of lift a little bit there. So yeah, he's dropping down to 6th place. That allowed Phoebe, Sneaky, and Sedlev to actually get by him. Although Sneaky has made a mistake of himself, touching the inside wall, if I recall correctly, in the downhill, and that's going to demote him down to P8 behind his teammate Fat Kid, currently battling it out for 6th position with Zenob from Team Jean Bjorn. Lap 2 is done. Matiford still in front of Benzo, 6/10ths up on his teammate. Then 1/10th down, we've got Sedlev currently battling it out for 2nd position.
Sora with the overtake on Phoebe. This is of course the fight to look for regarding the 5th spot in the Open League. So those two are in the front here trying to get the big points for their teams, their teammates. Currently Econics only on 16th, would definitely lose some points. To who is teammate of Phoebe? Harse, yeah, he is 10th, so 5 places up at the moment of Econics.
Yeah, not the most ideal placing for the Twister Eagle drivers right now, as Sora is currently in the battle for a podium spot right now, managing to reel Sedlev in. Sedlev was in the battle for 2nd with Benzo, and unfortunately for Sedlev, multiple mistakes stringing up to a pretty costly position change coming up really shortly, as Sora is still battling really fiercely with Sedlev, although Sora with a bit of a wide drift will yield that 3rd place for Sedlev for now, at least, since he's going to try to get back up into contention, although Phoebe, hello, is trying to reel the Twister Eagle driver back in and try to get that 4th position within her grasp as well.
So we have a surprise, Fat Kid, one of the best drivers in this field, only on 13th place. Must have had a huge mistake, was close to his teammate at the beginning of the previous lap, if I recall correctly. Now he's 7 seconds behind 1st place already. He might be up for a comeback during this race, but now the next player is 1.3 seconds in front of him. But this is a quite tough group here, close group with several players from 8th up to 12th. So 5 players within a second.
Yeah, we're seeing that train right now, especially a battle for, I think it is 10th place right now, or even 8th place between Jolty Sonic, S, and Harse. 7 is a little bit further down in 11th, and we got Schweetz in 12th, but the battle really is for that top 8 place. We got S in 8th, then we got Jolty Sonic being overtaken by Harse, so Harse 9th and Jolty Sonic 10th, although the Spaniard from Team CN is not going down without a fight. He gets back past Harse for P8, and S is now passing Sneaky. Sneaky must have made a mistake as well, since he was looking for a good top 5 position, and it seems as though the 80 Racing squad is not faring too well, with Fat Kid in 12th, and Sneaky now down to 9th, potentially being overtaken by Harse for 10th if the mistakes continue piling in. The 80 Racing squad, as we say that Harse will clinch the inside while going a little bit too presumptuous on a little bit too early into the corner, and that will allow Fat Kid to get back up into the top 10 and try to back up his teammates. Fat Kid down to up to 10th, Harse touching another wall yet again, and that's going to potentially allow 17th Smurf 3 to get back past him.
Usually we see the 80 Racing drivers always in the top in these races, battling with Door and with Shadow, who's or Skugaku was also missing today, for the top positions, but this time around they actually made some mistakes in the early stages of the race, both players. So they definitely this time with a much worse start compared to Door, and have a lot of work to do to catch up, because several people here seem to be well trained. Will be tough to overtake him. Padcat just with another little wall touch, but didn't cost the wall too much. But this one is more crucial, and Harse will actually overtake him here.
That one hurt. As soon as I switched back to when you said that Fat Kid made a mistake, as I was trying to get a point of view of Sedlef in P4, as soon as I switched to Fat Kid, I could see the wall grind just after that. That would hurt. And yeah, currently Fat Kid also reeling in Harse just after that mistake and overtaking him back for top 10. Harse going for a bit of a wide line in the dirt, and yeah, dropping a lot of speed as a result of that. And yeah, Sora, as I was trying to get a point of view of Sedlef, because Sora, oh no, as we talk about him, he actually had a no slide, or maybe he actually had to cancel it really early because he was a little bit too inside, and so he drops from P3 to P6. He had a solid race up until that point. Although he will score some good points for Twister Eagles, it's still not looking good in the battle for that final place in the qualification final, because Phoebe is currently holding 4th position, is trying to reel Sedlef in for that 3rd place spot, podium spot, and trying to get the points that come with it.
Overall, this race seems to be much tighter than previous Open League races that I've seen. Icanix is only 17 seconds behind after 7 laps, so he does lose only like 2 point something each lap, and definitely we saw much bigger gaps in the previous races, where he would have had a better position with that distance. But yeah, he definitely needs to see if he can catch up some positions in order to gain some points for his team, because Smurfen team is definitely catching up a bit. What is also interesting is Xenop is the only JP driver, if I see that correct. So Skugaku not here today. I'm not sure how far they are ahead of 5th and 6th team, but they certainly will lose a little bit.
Team Jean-Bjorn are in 3rd place, and there are actually 2 drivers in this race, because we got Xenon, but we also got S in the ranking, and currently she's in the top 10.
Okay, S
is in the top 10, and Jolty Sonic, even though he's the only driver for Team CN, he's currently in 9th place, so not too shabby effort from the Spanish driver, trying to reel Fat Kid, and Fat Kid in 8th place, around 3 seconds down on his teammate. So yeah, the Team 80 Racing not really doing too well.
Jolty Sonic, huge stopping.
I just as I switched away from him, he makes a crash, unfortunately, and that will drop him down to P13. As we were actually praising his effort for P9, unfortunately for him, things turned sour, and he dropped 4 positions in the space of a few corners, just like that. And he gets overtaken by Zibs as well. Also, Team Godspeed having misfortunes. The second Godspeed Team Zibs currently sitting in P13, 18.5 seconds down on the leader. Meanwhile, Sedlef, 2.5 seconds down on the leader, sure, but still in a podium position, although he is potentially trying to get reeled. He's potentially getting reeled in by Phoebe, although the gaps seem to have widened compared to the last lap. She's now a full second down on the French driver for 3rd place.
So far, now closing into Xenop again. This is the closest fight that we have currently. battling out for 5th place after Sora's mistake. Much better
Xenob
line
with
here.
a wide line as well, yeah.
Now Xenob tries to attack with the inside. Sora has also not that much exit speed, so Xenob will take over 5th for now. But here Sora takes the tighter line. Also a different approach. Sora going far inside. Xenob opting for the better exit speed and comes back very equal. And you can drive different lines, and which are quite equally fast. But overall, Sora did perform his line a bit better. Also here, completely different lines. And again,
Different
it's
approaches,
quite
but
equal.
different approaches, yet somewhat equal, but it turned out into Sora's advantage with a really much tidier line at the exit of the very first part of the U-turn. So yeah, that would enable them to go back up to 5th place, and Xenob with a much better car control display managed to get back into the battle for 5th place, and will give the Twister Eagle driver a run for his money. Meanwhile, Phoebe, she's not feeling the pressure from both of these guys, since he has a 2-second buffer to Sora in 5th position, and yeah, she's currently driving a pretty quiet race so far, as she is too far away from Sedlef to actually be a menace to the 3rd place and try to get a podium position, but she's also far enough away from Sora to in order to not actually feel threatened. So yeah, pretty lonely race so far for her, but still in a good position to score some big points for Team Smurf from 4.
Currently 2 seconds between Phoebe and Sora. We'll have to see in the next laps if Sora is able to catch up a bit. But of course he has to avoid any further mistakes after his already first one that costed him quite a few seconds.
Meanwhile, so yeah, quick sit rep at the front. It's Matty Ford who leads Benzo since the beginning of the race, and the gaps have widened to around 2 seconds between the two something with butter drivers. Meanwhile, that's actually checking on the battle for potentially 8th position, or 9th position, shall we, sorry.
Yes.
With 9th place with currently in the hands of 7, who is 6/10 up the road from S, who herself is 4/10 up, and even a second up right now on Schweetz. Schweetz getting a bit left behind by S. Meanwhile, S making some inroads on Doors on 7's lead, sorry, for that 9th position, with and she's trying to carry as much momentum as possible to try and reel the Smurf 3 driver back in. And it seems as though it's paying off. Look at that really aggressive line heading into the turn. That's gonna put her level with 7 for that 9th position that she takes despite a wide line.
Oh, nice fight between both. Quite equal going into the wall ride. Here 7 with a much tighter approach, but S comes back with more exit speed again. And this last turn, similar line for these two drivers. S can keep the lead, but is still very close. We also have a fight between Sips and Icarnix down in 13th and 14th, and Sholty Sonic, who was already in the top 10 early in the race, is just behind them. But Icarnix definitely with a chance to maybe gain a few positions.
Ooh, that's ripped from Zips. Did you see that?
No, I just was still on the...
Basically, I switched from Icarnix, and Zips clipped the inside of the void before the uphill at the exit of the very first tunnel turn. And yeah, Zips went for a full 720, even a 1080 spin, and unfortunately that dropped him down to P15. Even Jolty Sonic managed to get by him, and yeah, 15th place, 36 seconds down on the leader for Zips. And Icarnix inherited P13 as a result of that, so yeah, a few extra points. But now he has another target to catch up to, and that is Harse, the other member of Team Smurf 4, and he is 4 seconds up the road.
Yeah, now just Jolty Sonic overtook Icarnix, but before that overtake, Icarnix was just 1 place short of Harse, so only 1 point loss for Twister Eagles between those two positions, and also Sora is here just 1 single position behind. So they, at the moment, keep up quite good and don't lose too many points, and still have the chance to maybe overtake a Smurfen player. Sora is definitely giving it everything. It's only 1.5 seconds right now.
Jolty Sonic getting a little bit greedy at the exit of the uphill, clipping the inside, and yeah, being sent towards the outside wall. Still a good recovery by Jolty Sonic, but he gets overtaken by Icarnix. Icarnix is now up to P13 as a result of that. Meanwhile, at the front, Sedlef is trying to reel Benzo back in. Sedlef is in 3rd place, half a second down on Benzo, who is 3.5 seconds down on his teammates, 3.7 seconds now. And it seems as though Team Gottfried could be set for some good points, despite the crash from Zips that we saw on stream a little bit earlier. Sedlef is doing the job right now of a big point scorer for his team. Meanwhile, battle. Could we have any other battles brewing in? I don't think so. The gaps seem to have spread out fairly widely here over the course of this
Phoebe!
halfway through the race.
Phoebe made a mistake.
Phoebe, Phoebe dropped down to P6. We completely missed that. And yeah, Sneaky is now back up into a top 5 position. AD Racing could be actually picking up a few spoils here and get a few points on the board. Sora is in P4, although he is 4 seconds down on Sedlov. So yeah, there's quite a ways to go until he gets back into a fight for P3.
Oh, Phoebe with another little wall touch. I guess the bigger first mistake was probably in the most difficult section and most risky section of this track. Right after the multi-lap, after this tunnel section, this platform part. I also saw in the Premier League someone absolutely flipping out, going too far inside with a two-wheeler over the wall and flipped over.
Yeah, this is actually what happened to Jolty Sonic in the previous lap as well, and unfortunately for him that would cost him the 13th place to the benefit of Econics. Meanwhile, Phoebe is down to P7, currently behind Zenob, although with a bit of a more aggressive line compared to Zenob, she will be able to catch back up to the Team Jean Buron driver. Zenob going really wide at the exit of that tunnel turn and still retaining the advantage over Phoebe. Zenob in P6, Sneaky in P5, and Fat Kid is way too far behind Phoebe so far to be of any threat to the team's preferred Ford driver. Fat Kid is currently 5 seconds down on Phoebe. So yeah, Phoebe is currently pretty safe in P7 right now, unless another catastrophic mistake happens.
So we have also Haxe and Schwyz quite close together. Only half a second between both drivers. So Haxe with the chance to gain one more position. But at the moment, the fight between Twisted Eagles and the Smurfin team looks better for Twisted Eagles, since Phoebe crashed and lost multiple positions, also lost a position to Sora.
Yeah, it actually looks, it was actually fairly even for the very first half of the race, as we see Schwyz having a bit of a dodgy line compared to Haxe, and Haxe overtaking Schwyz for P11 there. But yeah, you were absolutely right. The situation really turns in favor of Twisted Eagles, thanks to, thanks to that mistake from Phoebe. If you're looking at that from the Twisted Eagles point of view, as Phoebe is currently still battling it out with Zenob for 6th position, and the battle is really raging on between the two drivers, and we're seeing some good racing right now.
Yeah, and we also see that Sneaky is a bit closing into Sora, so Sora is not safe on his 4th spot. Sneaky with a comeback after his earlier mistake could get a top 4 position in the end. But yeah, multiple close fights right now, Phoebe and Zenob of course as well. Phoebe now with the overtake.
And it seems as though 7 is trying to reel S in. Currently 7 finding himself a second down on S, although yeah, the gap seems to have widened, and yeah, Schwyz versus Haxe, the battle is still raging on, and it seems as though these are the only battles really interesting so far, in the sense that the people are actually close together for a potential chance of another take. Meanwhile, towards the front, nothing really changes. We're already past the 4-second gap mark between Matty Ford and Benzo, with around a 4-second gap so much stabilized between the two, something with Butter drivers who are clearly flying over the track right now, and yeah, overseeing the race.
Zenob
really
just touched.
Oh.
He has now lost the battle to Phoebe, and lost, yeah, like 3 seconds, maybe a bit more even. So Phoebe now safe on 6th place. I also saw that Econics and Sips were very close together in a checkpoint, and I wanted to click on it, and then it was 3 seconds between them. So it was just a mistake.
And it seems as though 7, has dropped down from P10 to P12. So yeah, we're seeing a few mistakes left, right, and center, and we're sorry we cannot really cover everything on camera. We're doing our best to actually cover everything. Meanwhile, towards the bottom of the pack, Opic is currently the first man to be actually lapped by the leaders, Matty Ford and Benzo having lapped Opic already. He's our first man down a lap, as we see Sedler currently in the process of lapping Opic.
Yeah, Sedler actually was very close to Benzo, and then exactly he just crashed exactly in that moment when he went on him.
Sneaky and Sora battling it out for 4th position. Now Sneaky makes a mistake and he will lose that battle temporarily at least. Sora will keep his 4th position safe for the moment being, 2/3 of the way through the race. But yeah, this was looking pretty hairy between the two drivers, as Sneaky managed to catch back up to Sora here and challenge him for 4th position. Meanwhile, Phoebe, 3 seconds down the road, has quite a bit of the gap to Zenob as a result of his mistake. Zenob is 10 to 11 seconds down on Phoebe, so yeah, she is currently pretty safe in P6. And maybe if another driver crashes up the road, there might be some more points on the table.
It's actually crazy how much time Xenop has lost to Phoebe in just 1 or 2 laps and still no position loss for him. So in the beginning we had lots of players quite close together, but now there is this huge gap between 6th and 7th, and then also further back between 9th and 10th, 7 seconds gap right there.
Meanwhile, 7 and Hasse are still running close together. Hasse currently sitting in P11, 7 trying to overtake him, and currently the overtake is done, but he will not be able to make the move stick, and Hasse will be able to go back into that 11th position with a much better line compared to 7. 7 trying to get momentum, but it doesn't pay off for the Smurfen 3 driver, and it's currently Hasse currently holding 11th position, but he's way too far down. Oh, and Hasse making a mistake and touching the outside wall. That's Hasse getting overtaken by 7 right there, and yeah, he will be safe so far for P12 as Jolty Sonic is 4 seconds further down. So yeah, Hasse, unfortunate, he could have held P11, but it wasn't to be, and 7 is currently the beneficiary.
It feels like Zedlev is a tiny bit faster than Benzo. He was already 2/10 close to him, then he made a little contact with the wall, but now he's gaining again and getting closer and closer from turn to turn, going a bit tighter through every apex, and close now to overtake Benzo and destroying the 1-2 victory for Door.
Yeah, will he be the one to split? That could be interesting here, as he is not right within his gearbox. Look at this.
Oh, that's tight.
Oh, a touch. That's a double dead for Zedlev right there as we say that. So we're already 5 laps to go.
Always when he starts catching Benzo, he makes the mistake. But this could have been much worse. I mean, he was so tight.
Oh, you know what it is? It's caster's curse. First-hand caster's curse. That was on his POV, yeah. So meanwhile, meanwhile, 4 seconds down the road from Zedlev, we got Sora in 4th position, and Sneaky still around half a second down on Sora, but slowly and steadily catching him back up. So we could still see a battle for 4th position here coming up right now. But yeah, Sora still holding his own for Team Twister Eagles and scoring some big points, still doing the job right now. The only thing left to do is to bring it home towards the finish line with around 4 laps to go.
Would of course be beneficial if he can place a driver between himself and Phoebe, especially in the points, in the better positions where there are bigger point gaps between each position. But yeah, Sneaky seems to be a tiny bit faster. That's also why he was already gaining on Sora in some earlier laps. But now Sneaky with a wall touch, so he will lose a bit of time again. But this is not over. If Sneaky is winning like 2 or 3 tenths each lap, then he can still overtake Sora in the end.
Yeah, but that was a bit too close for comfort, I imagine, for Sneaky. I'm imagining a little bit of the butt clench there. really tightening the butt cheeks as he tried to go through the corner. But yeah, unfortunately it did touch, and yeah, he's already down almost around a second now towards compared to Sora in 4th place. Meanwhile, Zedlev is still trying to reel Benzo in, and Sneaky will make a mistake as we see that, and that's going to allow Phoebe back in to 5th position. So yeah, Phoebe inheriting 5th place, but way too far away from Sora to actually be of any threat to the Twister Eagles right now. So far so good for the for both for the outfit from Econics and Sora's. Econics in P14, despite being led by both Jolty Sonic and Hasse. Currently, Sora is looking to score some big points and increase the gap compared to the Smurfen teams behind them.
We just were having another overtake, but exactly in that moment when Fatcat would have overtaken Xenop, he touched the wall, but it's still very close, so this might be a position changer until the end of the race. Fatcat seems to have the faster pace and caught up quite a lot to Xenop due to Xenop's mistakes in the previous laps.
Yeah, that huge rift between the top 6 and P7, 8 seconds. In fact, between Sneaky in 6 and Xenob in P7 is quite astonishing to see, even though it might not be super astonishing considering the potentially wider pace difference, pace gap, should I say, between the different players and different teams in the Open League compared to the Premier League. But it's still so much astonishing to see, as we already have 3 drivers being lapped by the leaders. Matty Ford and Benzo having already, Matty Ford having already lapped 3 players in that space of time. OP getting lapped by both Zenob and Fat Kid. Zenob coming up on the Team Super 5 player, but Fat Kid with a much better line will allow him to catch back up to the Team Jean-Bjorn driver and actually overtake him for P7.
Yeah, this is exactly the section where Fat Kid also won a lot of time in the previous lap until he touched the wall. And this time he didn't touch and just overtakes. But there are quite a big pace difference between both players in this lap. I think that Zenob was driving a bit faster in the early stage of the races, but now he's attacking again with the inside line over all apexes, getting past Fat Kid. So Zenob again in front. So they have, both drivers have their parts where they are faster than the opponent.
Yeah, really nice line and really nice overtake from Zenob. A really nip and tuck battle between the two drivers. Zenob, it looks as though he pulled a Ricardo, licked the stamp and send it into the final corner. Although Fat Kid is getting back at him for that position. Meanwhile, towards the front, Matty Ford is heading towards the final part of the course, and we're on board with him right now as he crosses the final few corners and crosses the finish line in first place. Matty Ford will win the Open League race. Benzo will come in second place, 4.4 seconds down on his teammate, and Sedlef will complete the top 3. Valiant effort from the team Godspeed driver. Sora will finish in P4. Then we got Phoebe in P5, so good points for both Twister Eagles and Smurfin 4 regardless. Then Sneaky will be crossing the line in P7. Meanwhile, Fat Kid has got past Zenob, and it seems as though we got a battle still brewing for 6th position. Fat Kid will remain in front of Zenob as a result of that. Fat Kid 7th and Zenob in 8th place. S will be coming across the line sooner or later for 9th position. Here she goes for the final corner.
Ooh, Icanix overtook
Collecting
Raxa.
actually 9th position for Team Jean-Bjorn. Then we got 7 in P10, completing the top 10 for Team Smurfin 3. Then we got Jolty Sonic, the only member representing Team CN, finishing in P11. Schweetz in 12th. Then we got Icanix in 13th. Harse will be in 14th place, finishing in front of Mazer. Then we got Zibs, who is currently halfway through the lap right now. We're currently spectating the teammate of Sedlef from Team Godspeed 2, coming around the final set of corners to come in P16. It actually will hit the pole. Thankfully, we'll have enough time to actually pull a bit of a parking lot spin, shall I say, to go back the right way and cross the finish line in 16th place. And then OPQ will cross the line in 17th position after those few corners. GG's to everyone, and GG's in particular to both Benzo and Matty Ford. The Something with Butter team is winning this race.
GG also from my side. Interesting fact is that Icanix overtook Haxe in
Thank
the
you very
end.
much, Resonance and Gimpel for the follows, by the way. Really much appreciated. So, final results then. Something with Butter is in first and second, and Sedlef completes your proverbial podium. So, 4th, Phoebe 5th, Sneaky 6th, Fat Kid 7th, Xenop 8th, S and 7 complete your top 10.
The whole race, Haxe was...
I hope you enjoyed being in the casting booth with me, Marius, even though it was a bit of a somewhat a weird first experience, we gotta say. We never casted together, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really train it.
We have lost communication with Marius, unfortunately. That's a bit of an awkward silence there.
That's
But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the races and the casts with Marius chipping in for the Premier League, for the Open League race, sorry. So yeah, thank you very much for you following the 5th play day of the group stage from SCL CEP Season 6. And don't worry, if you feel like I'm gonna be gone for another 2 weeks, you would